it's really handy to be able to know how to do your own stud wall. Say maybe if you want to split a large bedroom down the middle into two, or even block up an old doorway like this. If you know how to do it yourself, just think how much money you could save. The first stage of our stud wall is making sure that we check the area is safe. And what I mean safe is that there's no electrics or pipes running behind the areas that we're hoping to fix to. So you might want to invest in something like this. It's a really good little gadget. It's simply a pipe, cable and wire detector, just to check that there isn't any hidden electrics or piping. I know I'm clear. We can now get our wood cut into place. The first section that we're going to cut is our base plate, and that's where it all starts from. So get yourself a tape measure, measuring the width that we're going to need. I'm looking at 970 millimeters. We're now ready to cut our wood. And just a quick little chat about the wood that I've chosen. I've gone for a 3x2, and it's a soft wood that's been sawn, so it's nice and smooth as well. And that is my first cut. Now, if we allow ourselves to do the odd cheeky cut that's gone a bit skewiff, well, our uprights are going to start looking like this, yeah? So they need to be nice and level to sit flush. Put your base plate roughly where you think it's going to have to go. Get yourself an offcut of the front plasterboard that you're going to be using, and you just line it up like that. I'm not quite flush, I've got about 1 or 2 mil deviation there. Now that's important because when we go to plaster this area, we need to be able to get a certain 1 or 2 mil thickness on here, but then we need to follow over to create that smooth finish so it all blends in. Get your pencil and just run it in front of your wood. We do that just to make sure that when we're changing our drills, we don't accidentally knock the wood slightly out of place. A good little tip for you when you're measuring up for your frame, just put the top plate, it's eventually going to be up there, on your bottom plate, and then you can take a full measurement from the top all the way down. It's a little bit easier. Feel free to use your leg. So this is how we fix it. First of all, you get your wood bit, you drill through, we then change to our masonry bit. Get our plug, now we can tighten it up. Now this is pretty much a small area, so I'm not going to need a lot of upstands. You're going to need supports every 400 millimeters. Then cut 2 pieces of wood in, which I'm just going to lay on top of there like that. It's going to give my base a bit of support. I've got another piece for the top. Now I've put my piece of wood tight to there. I've got a nice steady surface to work to. So with spiking, it's called spiking because you're going in at an angle. So you get your wood bit and drill. You start square on, just literally to make a hole. So take your time with this. You drill and tighten it up. So when you're doing your upstands and your noggins, we always put 2 fixings in just to make sure it isn't going to go anywhere. Really solid there, but if you can see, a bit of flex through the middle. So the way we're going to get rid of this is by supporting it this side and this side. So these are just going to slot into the middle and give it the extra support that it needs. And these are quite cute, these are called noggins. It always used to make me smile when I was younger. One thing we do is when we put our noggins in left and right, we try not to have them in the same position like this. Try and get them looking a bit like that, purely because it gives an extra little bit of brace to the structure. So we're going for 2 screws again, just to make sure that the wood doesn't twist. So now this is where the height of my plasterboard is going to come. So I'm just going to strike a line there, there, and there. And that'll determine where I put my noggins through. As you can see, I've put most of my noggins in now, and I've put them the full width, okay? So it gives the most amount of support to your wood. Before you put your plasterboard on this, take a photo of it, and then you know exactly where all your wood frame is as well. So maybe at a later date you want to put a picture up or something. We know what we can fix into, and you can just show it off and say, look, I did that. So now we've got our framework into place, I've just put a little bit of insulation in here. Such a small area, it's not a necessity, but let's be honest, with the price of gas bills nowadays, let's keep all the heat we can. I've got my plasterboard ready. We've already got our noggins in place, so I know where I'm going to have my fixings on the top, but obviously I need to mark out the wall to where my noggins are below here. I've got a noggin here, so I'm just going to transfer that top and bottom, okay? That clearly shows us the full width of our noggin. Now we're going to measure our plasterboard from the top and also at the bottom. When I took my measurements, I just wrote them at the top here, so I know that's my 950, and then at the bottom it went down to 945. Just join the two lines up. Apply a good bit of pressure and just score down the line. We then stand it up. It doesn't take too much of an effort, that it should just crack straight down the middle. Just score it again. And that's our plasterboard cut. So the fixings we're going to use now are called drywall fixings. They're usually in this distinctive black colour. And the reason we have to use a particular type of fixing is because these have been galvanised, and by that it basically means that they're not going to rust. If you were studding the whole wall, then we probably would need to have a doorway. You can buy door lining packs. So there's a stud wall, done. Whether you're looking to split a room up or even just block up a disused doorway, easy.